Good morning, Saints. My name is Ellie White, and I'm coming to you this morning with the topic of nephilims that are about to come on the face of the earth. Yes, my friend, giant creations, giant humans, half human, half demon, are going to be coming on the world to scare us, to subdue us, to make our whole world turned upside down so that we are easier to, you guessed it, conquer. Chaos breeds conquering, according to those powers who wanted to, for the last years and years and years, destroy and cover up and discredit the writings in the Bible. Okay? We have the stories of giant nephilims being on the earth before Noah. And that was one of the main reasons why God destroyed the earth, was because the demons saw that the women of the earth were fair and came down to mate with them and created these obnoxious beings which are found in every state in America and in many countries all over the world. These giant humans, we're not just talking some freak of nature that was 8 foot tall or something. We're talking about humans that are 9, 12, even 30 feet tall. It's incredible, my friends, but we're going to start today with 1 Samuel chapter 17. And we're going to see how God used a little boy to defeat one of these giant creatures. Chapter 17 of 1 Samuel, starting at verse 45. Then David said to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with a sword and a spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. And it came to pass, when the Philistines arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag, and took thence a stone, and he slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sank deep into his forehead, and that he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine, and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. So we see how, with a little stone, a shepherd boy was able to defeat the armies of the Philistine by smoting their leader in the head with a small slingshot. And so I say unto you, do not be afraid when these giant creatures shall come upon the earth, for there shall be many that shall come from inside the earth. And we know this because we are being given this information right now by the media, that there are certain creatures that live in these giant underground cities, and they've just been waiting. They've been waiting to be released onto the earth. And there's also aliens that are coming from above that are waiting to be released upon the earth. And God says that when this begins to happen, then know that your redemption draweth nigh. Look up. Look up when these things begin to happen. Men's hearts failing them for fear. So yes, these creatures are coming. They are real. Some will be nice and some will be awful. But make no mistake, my friend, these creatures are all demons, and demons that were mated with humans, and that will continue to try to mate with humans. So please be forewarned, my friend. and know that we must stay free from these. Now we see some of these same beasts, and they will be beasts. In Revelations chapter 6, when we get to the fourth seal, chapter 6, verse 7, when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given over to them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Now we already know that with sword means not only the swords of battle, but the swords of guillotines of the Christians captured, probably in the third seal. Now some of these seals will overlap, and one is continuing while the other one starts. Some of them will be going on for a period of time, and then almost immediately, depending on where you are in the world and what your access is, or what our access is going to be to finding out about these things, the next seal can immediately start to begin. So we have this being killed with the sword, which is going to be beheading of Christians in the FEMA camps, and the swords of battle. With hunger, which, as we know, it says with hunger and not with famine, because there's plenty of food, just with banking collapse and other such nonsense. And I say nonsense not because it's funny, but because they have planned this in order to try to create a new world order where Satan and his beast and his false prophet are in charge. So we have the sword, and we have this hunger. It doesn't say famine, it says hunger. So we know that that creation was created by the very acts of the banking collapse. And with death, and we'll get to that in another video, and with the beasts of the earth. So please know that these creatures are real. They are coming. The Nephilim are coming. The aliens are coming. The bastarded creatures, which have been made by splicing humans and creatures together, such as the cow, which has several children lying on the ground as she's lying on her side, nursing. Not from a cow's teat, but from 8 breasts that are along this creature. And we know of the rat that was mated with a human. It was done by gene splicing. And it too, instead of having a small teat where a normal rat would nurse from, has this collection of breasts going across her body and down the front of her torso, and a complete actual face of a woman on this rat. Freakiest thing you've ever seen, to see these creatures that they've made, which are being released into the wild by the UK, the US, and Germany right now, all over the world. So yes, beasts of the earth are going to come. And some of them are these Nephilim. Now they're saying that these creatures, although they're vastly superior to us because they have these giant cities and this knowledge that's far beyond what we know, then why couldn't they get out? Why couldn't they live amongst us? Well, because of passages such as we read in 1 Samuel 17, where David slew the giants. And he took with him 5 stones, not because he was afraid that he was going to miss, but because this last giant on the face of the earth at that time had 4 brothers. So go in God's confidence, go in God's greatness and richness and mercy, and be aware of these things, so that we're not caught up, as it says in Luke, where they catch people unawares and they're dying of heart attacks for fear of seeing these creations. Know that they're coming, and know that God is with us. Thank you, my friends. If you'd like to support this ministry, please feel free to contact me at PayPal /BuffaloStudy@yahoo.com. or just drop me a note and let me know what questions you have or what things you would like to see covered in these videos. Thank you so much.